Thanks. Happy New Year, everybody. Excited to be back home, and obviously congratulations to Coach DeBoer and his team on an incredible season. And we had a great time all watching and learning from their program. And so excited to be back home. It's been a while since we've played at home. We had some great challenges on the road, and continue to learn a lot about ourselves and the areas we need to improve. And so I'm excited to be back in practice working on those things. So.
Is there any particular thing that you're seeing in these past 3 games here that's showing up that's not allowing you guys to like, get these wins?
Yeah, I think different things from the Louisville game than the last 2 games. I thought the Louisville game, our defense was pretty sound. We had a few breakdowns you're going to have against a great team, but I like the way we defended at Louisville. I thought that we executed and understood what we were trying to do, but didn't handle pressure extremely well. These next 2 games were quite different, coming off the break. I think that, that's really falls on me to have us more ready to be on the road. I think Cal is a much improved team. We knew they were going to be really tough to beat. They can score the ball really well. Stanford's one of the best teams in the country, coached by, one of the best coaches in the country. And so tall task always. But we also weren't quite ourselves, and I think that we want to control what we can control on the road and how we defend and how we rebound and the way we fight. The way we prepare scout-wise and execute that scout is all within our control. In some areas we need to improve on this week.
How has the practices been? Losing 3 games after being, 10 or 11-0?
Yeah, well, there's a nice long break after Louisville, and so, we got to come back, and we had a long time, so we got to break that game down and address that game in itself. It felt like we got to move on and close that game well. The other 2 have been filmed so far and some small group work, and then we returned to full team practice today.
But how have the practices? Oh, so you haven't even really done
our first full team practices today.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's been kind of different because you, Washington State, you kind of have the same similar where you both lose Stanford and Cal. Kind of just how's the contrast with the 2 teams that you see from what you've evaluated on film?
How did we compete with Cal and Stanford differently?
Like with Washington State also losing Cal and Stanford, both you 2 kind of having that same similar where you had a good start and then go to the Bay Area. When you look at the film, both teams, was there anything that is just Cal and Stanford, or is it maybe a mix of what they did and what you guys can do?
Yeah, well, you never want to Cal and Stanford are both very good. I think Cal is, like I said, incredibly improved, and Stanford is an exceptional team. And then you go on the road after the holidays, not having practiced for 10 days, both of us. And so I think we had similar experiences in some ways, and I think we also had things that were completely different. And so some things that hurt us didn't hurt them, some things that hurt them didn't hurt us. And so we're just a slightly different team experience-wise and from what we choose to do from a stylistic standpoint.
Are you thinking that, and I'm sure you don't think this, but just being at home, that's going to change everything? I'm sure it's like way more than that. It's like,
Well, yeah, I mentioned many things that we need to be better at. And so when we came out of the break, I love, there's a quote that says that you have to be faithful in small things before you can be over large things, be faithful in large things. And so I think we got out of the habit of being faithful in small things, like really being appreciative of the importance of small details of the way we defend and what makes us really good from just a discipline standpoint. As well as understanding now every team is going to be scouted differently, and that's an experience factor. Every team is going to be scouted differently. We're going to change how we, for instance, guard a post player in a certain set, and continuing to improve on those things. So do I think coming home will fix our small disciplines? I don't. I think practices will. And so I hope that we can get into the gym and continue to, as coaches, just grow our team and help us be better, because in the end, that was us not having them ready for those small things as we went on the road, and that's up to us to try to correct those as quickly as possible.
do you think you guys need to obviously the name of the game is scoring more points than the other team. Just in general, though, in these 3 losses, you guys are averaging like 56 points. Is that enough to win games, or do you think, all right, it needs to kind of be, do you have a target number, like 65, 70? If we get there, kind of feel good about how things are going, or is it more the defensive end?
My target is one more than them. So, no, I would say, scouts change. And so there are games where we feel like that it is in our benefit to be very methodical and make sure we take the best shot we can, because I think we will be against their strength if we try to play, at a tempo that doesn't fit that. Efficiency really still matters to us, and so what is going to make us the most efficient? Playing fast sometimes is that for us versus teams and the way they defend. And so, Washington State and us are both similar in that I think we want to take the best shot we can. We want to play at a good tempo, but we also don't want to play at an inefficient rate. And so when we play one another, I think we're playing somewhat similar in that way.
I feel the paint, the rebounding has kind of been I don't want to say a struggle, but how do you assess it as rebounding?
Yeah, I mean, rebound is a mindset. It's a controllable. And so we talk about going on the road and the ways that, the road is different, and then the ways the road is similar. And so when we go on the road and don't box out and rebound the way we're capable of, we gave up something that was actually under our control. Because size doesn't really matter in rebounding when it comes to boxing out. So something that we need to improve on a lot.
Last time you played WSU, that first quarter was just, it looked like a typo. Anything you can take from that game that's going to help you on Sunday?
I think that we all, our entire team, can take from, the games where we've started like that, the preparation mentally that went into it. So the way we understood the game plan, the way we understood that from a defensive perspective, how we're guarding, to the way we want to run offense. You asked a great question about tempo. Is this a high-tempo game? Is this a slower tempo game? How much do we want to transition? So I think going into that game, we really understood that and started the game well.
Final questions?
Thank y'all for all being here.
No problem.